Right, so I've got a bit of an interesting concept topic that I want to look at, and it's to do with man management and the I suppose you call it rapport that that you have with your followers and um, individually knowing everyone, caring about everyone, reading everyone, and the sort of management they need. Um, I wanted to look at IQ and EQ. So uh, there is a measurement for IQ. There's an IQ test. If you get, I think it's above 140, you're in Mensa, all that sort of thing. But there's no measurement for EQ, for emotional intelligence. And you know what? I know a lot of people who've got high IQ, but they're pretty useless in the world because they can't navigate other people. I also think if you look at IQ, there's quite a lot of logical thinking in that. So if you've got quite a logical brain and you've got quite a good supercomputer in your subconscious, then you're going to have quite high IQ. I also think there's a lot of academic people that I've met. So doctors, people that have been to university for a long time, people who've got PhDs, things like that. They're more memory based. A lot of them. I don't think it's that hard to teach someone to get a PhD. I really don't. But if you look at someone like a doctor, like a medical doctor, they have to memorize a hell of a lot of information, and all that is memory. So I've met some doctors that really aren't that clever, but they're very good at remembering what they need to remember, and they can be doctors. They do the job. But going back to emotional intelligence, I feel that these there are certain people that you meet, and when you have emotional intelligence, you meet them, and you know instantly. You both know that each other, without really saying anything. You just both know that you're above a certain level on emotional intelligence, and you're kind of like, yeah. We're together. We're together. And it's kind of to do with like an ability. You can kind of just read other people. I've seen a few things recently that have said if someone's got ADHD, again, I'm fed up with the whole ADHD thing. I do have ADHD, and I know ADHD is to do with. I know I've read some stuff that it can be, what's the word, hereditary, but I think mine was to do with a coping mechanism that my brain kind of came up with to cope with a lot of the stresses and anger and confusion I had as a child. So my brain just developed ADHD as a coping mechanism. It was like an escape. So I read somewhere that your brain is constantly flitting off because it doesn't want to think about what it's going through at that time. So if you've going through quite a traumatic time as a child, your brain just kind of is constantly darting off, and then that your brain just wires that way. So anyway, I've read quite a few things that where, and again, I think ADHD is a bit of a spectrum. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone's got a bit of ADHD, but anyway, there are certain people who they will meet someone and their brain will just know. They can just read people very easily, very quickly. I've seen a few little sort of memes where they'll say that person in your group that's got ADHD that will just meet someone and just kind of freeze and just be like, uh-oh, that's not a good person. And you just there's something within you that tells you, and you don't know what it is. You just this innate reading of people. I think that can be a very useful tool, powerful tool if you are within a leadership position, because you can read your people, and you're very good at knowing how to talk. So you're very good at being like a social chameleon. So you can roll with the very blue collar, and then you can roll with the very white collar. You can kind of mix between, speaking to someone really old and speaking to someone really young. And I think having that ability is a massive strength when it comes to leadership, because you can, one to one, you can make everyone feel special by being able to build that rapport and be on a level with them. And I think if you've been through quite a lot and you've got a lot of experience, you've got a lot that you can relate to people about. I've kind of noticed as well that when I'm speaking to someone, it's weird, obviously I'm hearing what they're saying, but generally I don't hear what they say, I hear what they mean. So I live in between the lines. So someone will say, just for example, oh, we all think it would be better if, stop. For all I'm hearing there is, you think this, and you were too afraid to confront me, so because all I'm hearing is we think. So that I know that people have then, it tells you a whole story. It tells you that people are talking behind your back. It tells you that the person that come and spoke to you is probably the instigator who's then gone and got support from other people before they come and say what they said. They voted about you. So you kind of you think, well, I don't want to be part of this group anyway. So it tells you a lot just by that, the first 4 words. So I kind of, again, it's partly to do with my statistical analysis type brain. I pick apart every single little thing, and I've always found it fascinating when someone would say a sentence and they would say, yeah, I think we could do that tomorrow. And I'm like, could? Or should? Or will? Or might? All these words are very different, and for me they're completely different, but to other people they're kind of like, oh no, we could do it tomorrow. But could, if you're saying could, you're swaying more towards you probably won't. If you say, yeah, it'd be good if we did do it tomorrow, we might not be able to, but it'd be good if we did, that means that you're swaying more towards yes. But if someone says, oh, we could do it tomorrow, you're swaying more towards no, and you're probably being polite, and you're maybe not secure enough to say no, you're not confident enough to say no. So I generally hear through what people are saying. Sometimes you can use that to call people out, and sometimes you can use it to understand that someone might be feeling insecure about something, and then you can, for example, if someone said, oh, we could do that tomorrow, and then you might be able to say to them, I don't know, say it was go swimming, you might be like, you might say to them, oh, when was the last time you went swimming anyway? So you're kind of like, you can fish for, they might not be able to swim, they might be conscious about their body, but you can get to it without saying, why don't you want to swim? Even though they don't know that you know. They might not even know themselves. I find that a lot with people, where people will say something and they don't even know themselves that they're afraid of it, or they don't even know themselves that they've been brainwashed, and you know something about them that they didn't even know themselves. So sometimes I find that it's interesting. It is very interesting. I heard it was called years ago. It was called something like intuitive empath or something, where you just know stuff. You don't know how you know it, but you just know it. I had it when I was younger. I used to have it where, I saw a fascinating program years ago, and it was about savants and they're functioning savants. So they're not like superpower Rain Man, where they've got like this insane ability. Instead, they've got like a minor ability. I used to see it as like X-Men. So you've got your class. I can't remember what class it was. I think class 5 are like the strongest X-Men, and then you've got like all the way down to class 1, which are the weakest. And I think if I remember rightly, in savants it's the other way around maybe. And I think class 1 are like the insane abilities, but they're quite they've lost a lot of their capacity to kind of look after themselves, so they're quite delayed, but they've got these insane abilities. I remember there was a program years ago about someone who had savantism, but he was fully functioning, and it was to do with maths, and it was fascinating because he said, when they asked him a very complicated mathematical equation, and it would be not complicated, but something like 7,352 times 9,165, and he would just kind of go, okay, the number is, and he would just say, whatever the number is, and they would say, how are you figuring that out? And he's like, I'm not figuring it out. And he said that he could see a circle, and it was kind of like a, not binary, but like a Morse code with 10 patterns, and each pattern was a number, and he said it would be a circle, and then as it would go round, he would see the first pattern, and then the second pattern, and the third pattern, and the fourth pattern, and the fifth pattern, and however many numbers there were, it would then end up back at the start, and all he was doing was reading the squiggle. So he'd be like, oh, that's a 4, and that's a 2, and that's a 9, and then it would get to the end, and they were like, they couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I kind of feel there's a bit of that going on sometimes, where I remember there's a few times when I've been in school when I was younger, and I would go into a class that was way above like my age. If I'd been naughty and I got sent into like the head of year or something, and they were doing something that I've never done before, never seen before, and I'd know the answers. And there was a few times that people had just been like, how the hell does he know the answers? And they'd say to me, how do you know the answers? You've done no working out, you've written nothing down, you've got no information in front of you, how do you know the answers? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'd heard it once upon a time, maybe I heard it in a past life, I don't know. But it's kind of like saying, I know how to make a banana smoothie, and I know how to ride a bike, therefore my brain now knows how to wire an electrical socket. I don't know how it does it, but there's certain things like that, and it works for me in a way to do with understanding people. My brain is it finds patterns in the statistical analysis and everything, and that's why I want to figure out this whole leadership thing. I love kind of picking everything apart, and this is why I really want to interview some academics on not only leadership but a lot of psychological things. So I really want to look at like narcissists and how narcissists. There's lots of different types of narcissists, but just see how they function and how they. I think a lot of them are like delusional, like very delusional, and I don't understand how they can believe a lot of the things they say. Is it like a coping mechanism? I know I've got coping mechanisms in my brain, but I'm very aware of them. I would say as well. So going back to IQ and EQ, I think there's a certain level you kind of need. Let's just say 140 is the level you need in IQ, and 140 was the level you need in EQ. Let's just say it was that. And then I think you need this other thing, this one more thing, and it's to do with confidence. And as I said previously about being able to walk your own path, you've got this kind of this freedom in your head. And I believe a lot of those theoretical thinkers and people who've changed the world over centuries, they're a very unique set of, like they've got a very unique set of skills which give them the capacity for original thought, and I think that is a very rare thing. I think people think they have original thoughts, but a lot of it is programming, and kind of like what I said a minute ago, it's their brain telling them that 4 plus 4 equals 8, and then they kind of think that they're coming up with original thoughts, but they're not. And I think being able to see outside of your programming, being able to see the world from a third person point of view, emotionally and intelligently, I think gives you the ability to be able to understand what is going on in a group of people, and understand how the group need managing at that time and what might be wrong, and being able to nip things in the bud quite quickly. I think most people in the world see the world through their own eyes, and some people have the capacity, the capability to see it from a third person point of view. Like I said, that you can kind of go, well, you forget your own experiences and you can think logically and say, I can read this person and I can read this person, or not even I can read. This person is thinking this and this person is thinking this, and if you put them together, it gives you this answer. But, and then the original thought bit is when you start thinking outside of the box. So you question things that are not the conventional way of thinking. So instead of saying, is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? I heard something a while ago and I loved it, and it said, well, the glass is completely full. It's half full of air and half full of water. So some people don't see the world like that, and some people do. So trying to explain that to someone who can't do that, and instead what they can do is look at lots of information and come to an answer. Trying to explain to someone that to not think about A, B and C and instead just think of something, pluck it out of the sky. A lot of people kind of go, whoa, you can't do that, you can't do that. And I think it makes people uncomfortable because they don't have that capacity themselves. I heard years ago, someone said to me, a therapist years ago said to me, I said that a lot of people don't like some of the things that I say sometimes, some of my thoughts and thoughts on people and thoughts on things. And they said, yeah, because a lot of these people are very insecure and they don't understand that you can see in a different kind of light spectrum. So to them, it's not real. And then when you say that you're, because of that light spectrum, you can walk to the top of the mountain, because they can't do that or they can't see that, they don't believe you can do that or see that. So I think being able to manage your, not manage, being able to be a leader who, let's just say you've got a group, and the group are you're in a village and you're running out of food, and everyone starts kicking off about food. Everyone wants to do what they've always done, and that's how they feel safe. I think for those mavericks who come up with those ideas that could save everyone, a lot of those people are seen as mad. They're seen as insane. They're seen as, how can you do something different? You're going to risk the whole village for your crazy crackpot idea. But it's those people who have those crazy ideas that will help humanity progress. And I do think that I've started to look at people a lot more in a way that I think we are so much closer to apes than we think we are. We think we're intelligent. I don't think we are. I really don't. I think a lot of what people do is governed by your instincts. You're just your primal instincts. Where people, like, one of the biggest, I'm going to go into this more in depth in future, but I think one of the biggest motivations for people are worrying about what everyone else is doing, worrying about what everyone else thinks about them. They're negative drivers. So instead of having positive drivers like, I really want to succeed to be the best person I can be, no. It's all to do with like I said, negative drivers for everyone else's approval. They are the biggest drivers you can have, and that's very primal. I think also people if you've got a group of men, a lot of men will deny it, but most men do what they do because their hormones are just telling them impress the women. You honestly, if you see a group of men and they're together and a woman walks past, they change. They all change. Men just change, and it's such a primal thing. And I think like when a woman has a baby and she just changes. They change because their priorities and their world and all their hormones, and I think we are so governed by our hormones, by our primal instincts to, like, I don't want to say finding a mate, but for men it's just about men can't help like seeing a woman and then just kind of being like, oh, mate. Especially when you're a lot younger. I think when you're older and your testosterone starts going down and you can think with a bit more clarity. I think that's why when people say, oh, men are more mature when they're older, no, they've just got less testosterone pumping through their veins. So, not this in their veins before anyone says anything, but you know what I mean. Less just testosterone in their body. So I do think things are very, very primal, a lot more primal than we think, and I just think we aren't as evolved as we think. You think there are people on the planet who are happy to make a little extra profit, to make other people on the planet suffer and starve and drop bombs on other countries and just blow up schools and hospitals. And how barbaric and primal is that, to fight and kill each other over who has the best imaginary friend? Religion is insane. It could be borders. So wait a minute, you've got pretend lines on a map and you're fighting over it. So you're arguing over imaginary lines, imaginary friends, even things like supporting different sports teams. You're killing each other over that. You're killing each other over people. When people say we're different races, technically everyone on the same planet is the same fucking colour. That does my head in when everyone says, you've got different ethnicities. Yes, you do. But at the same time, when someone says something about a colour, we are all the same colour. Some people just have more of it than others. It's the amount of melanin your body has. You're not, when they say, oh, someone's black, they're not black. They just got more melanin than someone else. That's it. When you say someone's white, they're not white. And another query I've got. Here's something that bugs me. How society's painted this thing of what black is, and then and this is something that, let's call it the white. I don't even know what you call it, but the white powers that be have said that Barack Obama, prime example, Barack Obama is black. No, he's not. He's not black. Even if black was a thing, Barack Obama is half white. So why is he black? Why are you calling the man black? If someone's got like 1/8 African, it's like they're black. Why are they black? Why can't Barack Obama be, he might have, say he's got his 8 sets of great grandparents and 5 of them are white. Does that mean he's now white? Is he white? Is it what percentage is more? It does piss me off that people go on about colour, and they use that as a thing to say who is inferior, who is not. This is the box you belong in. You're not. You're not black. You're not. There is no such thing. It's bullshit. We're all the same. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it's a hippie thing. We're all the fucking same. We're all the same animal. That's all there is to it. A dog is a dog. There's different breeds of dog, but dog is a dog. And that's all there is to it. It does bug me that people are trying to constantly put differences on everyone. Yet people think differently, people are raised differently. When someone says, oh, the let's just say the people in Afghanistan or Iraq back when there were those Gulf Wars, and they were saying they're barbaric and they think that you got Al Qaeda and whoa. You think about it. These people only have that religion because they were born into that religion. That's it. And then a lot of them want to kill you because a ship flew over and bombed their next door neighbours and killed them all, killed their family or something. So all you've done is create people that hate you, but they're no different. They've evolved differently. But if you took every single baby from Afghanistan, from today onwards, and then you raised them in a different country, say you raised them in New Zealand, they would all grow up with those. They say there were no Muslim, none of them went to Muslim parents. None of them would grow up to be Muslim. It's an opinion. It's a belief, but it doesn't mean people should hate each other for that. And I think that is another big issue with. I've gone off on a massive tangent, but I just think putting people into groups because of their colour. I'll tell you what, fuck me, this one did my head in. So years ago I worked at a company, and I remember someone said to me, do you want to be on the ethnic committee or some bullshit like that? And I was like, oh, okay. So I sat in this meeting, and all I did was listen to 60 people just moan about. I mean, the company was huge. It's something like I don't know, a few thousand people in the company, and I remember the ethnic committee was formed by these two white women from the head of the top of the company, and they were saying that the ethnic percentage in the UK at the time was 14%, but in the company it was 18%. They wanted it up to 14%, some shit like that. They then said, I was listening to everyone moan, and everyone kind of in the group who was joining this ethnic committee was saying, I didn't get this promotion because someone else got it, and I think they unfairly got it, and I was listening to someone saying that their beliefs need to be respected more, and people need to be more tolerant of their beliefs, and blah 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 blah. And I listened to everyone go on and on and on and on. And it got to the end of the session. It was probably, I don't know, over an hour, and it just pissed me off. So I said, look, do you mind if I say something? Because like I said, there were about 60 people, and I said, first of all, you're moaning about tolerance and how people aren't, you're offended if someone doesn't, if they're ignorant to your culture or your religion. Or I said, wait a fucking minute. I asked someone. I said, what is your religion? And I think he said like I'm Hindu or something. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me ask you this then. How long have you been Hindu? And he's like, 45 years. And I'm like, okay, cool. How much percent, or what percentage would you say you know of the Hindu religion? Do you know it inside and out? Do you know it 100%? He's like, no, probably not. Okay, how the fuck then can you expect me to know everything about every fucking religion when you don't even know your own, top to bottom? How about instead of me being accepting of your religion and me being making way for all your beliefs, how about instead you are accepting of my ignorance that I don't know your religion? How about if I say something that could upset you, you talk to me about it and you educate me about it? Because I don't want to hurt people. I mean, there's a lot to remember, but at the same time, if I like to drink alcohol, for example, and you say, well, it offends me if you drink it in front of me, I'm going to be like, but it offends me that you don't drink it. Shut up. Why is it always one way? I've had someone before, they said something about their religion, and I said, why is this always about you? What about my beliefs? And they were like, you don't have any beliefs. And I was like, no. I never said I don't have beliefs. I said I don't follow a particular religion. I have beliefs. Because yours has got a name, does that make yours more important than mine? No. I respect you, and I respect your religion, and I don't mean to do anything to offend you. So, anyway, so I had this little rant with them. And the second thing I said is, look at what this company have done. I said they've got 60 of us in a room, and they've said, we want you brown people to get more brown people into the company. And I said there's a couple of problems I have with this. First of all, we're talking about different cultures. Not everyone who is necessarily brown has a different culture, and not necessarily everyone white has the same culture. So now you're talking colours, because everyone in this room is not blonde and blue-eyed. I was probably the lightest person in the room. I'm pretty light, but I said the problem you've got is, say you've got someone who's a very white Greek person, and their culture is completely different to the British culture. Should they, because they're white, just completely assimilate to the British culture overnight? No, that's unfair on them. What about their culture? And what about someone who's like a fourth generation African and they are as British as you can get? Does that? Why do they have to keep getting told your culture, your culture, your culture? And they're like, well, my culture's British. My grandparents were born in Britain. It's like, so it's not a colour thing. So I said to them, it's kind of pissing me off. And I said, and here's the other thing. If you look around this room and there's 60 of us, there's probably about 40 different nationalities in here. Why the fuck are we all in the same box? Why have they just gone, right, all of you, they got like a little colour chart out and gone, okay, everyone below this line, go and get in this box. You're all together now. You're all the same. We're not the same. I said, before any of us can go out there preaching and saying, you need to give me more respect, you need to tell me that I'm here to tell you that you've offended me because you said something about blah blah blah. I said, before we go out and do that, it would be very hypocritical if we did that when I don't know everything about all of your cultures. So there's only 60 of us in this room. There's something like 2,000 people in the company. So how the fuck can I preach to them about knowing everything about me when I don't know everything about all of you? I said, it's hypocrisy. It's bullshit. That's what it is. They put this in this room because they want to put more coloured people on the front of their magazines and shit. I said it's bullshit. So yeah, it pissed me off. It did piss me off. But anyway, I have gone off on a bit of a tangent there. But yeah, I am a little bit fucked off with the whole putting people in boxes and stuff. I do believe there should be a lot more. Like a good leader won't see that. They will be able to see the personality, the person, who that person is. Now, if you've got a certain demographic within your followership that is a particular religion, they might all have similar behaviours because they grew up with similar culture. So you can use that to your advantage and get to learn those behaviours. And then those behaviours might be better suited to, like, they might create certain personalities. And what I've found over time is there are certain personalities that are much better at certain jobs. So I believe that there are a lot of people who need to that there are a lot of people out there who will go into their careers at a young age, and then they'll kind of never fully be happy or never fully understand what they should be doing, or find the thing that they should be doing. And I think there should be a lot more to do with personality. I think some jobs, I know a lot of people chase the money, and I do think it's a bit shit that jobs that are more for men will generally be paid higher than jobs that are for women. I understand that there's a certain danger element to a lot of jobs that more men are prone to doing than women, but I do think things like nursing and caring, I think they're massively undervalued, and things like that. I'm not saying you should push more men into caring and more women into something like construction or the military. Or I don't think you can push people into what goes against their natural kind of prerogative. I've got a boy and a girl, and fuck me, they are the most stereotypical girl behaviour and boy behaviour, and I've done nothing to push them that way. I bought, when my daughter was born first, I used to buy dinosaurs and cars and whatever she liked. I bought her a mixture of stuff, and all she wanted to play with the girl stuff. My boy was born, and he wants to punch everything, destroy everything, and crash cars together. He loves cars. I mean, I don't even like cars, and he loves cars. So, yeah, there is a lot to be said for biology and personality. So, being able to read those things, and I think hear what people are subconsciously saying, even if they didn't even know it themselves, I think that is a priceless thing that EQ gives you. And I also think that the capacity to see outside of the box will allow you to see beyond stereotypes, will allow you to come up with original ideas, and that is how you can go from being good to elite, I think. So yeah, just something I wanted to ramble on about. I thought it was interesting, the whole like I said, EQ, IQ. I've been thinking about a lot today, to be honest. I need to probably do some more work instead of just thinking all the time, but I can't help it. So yeah, I hope that was interesting. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna definitely be trying to get some guests on soon. I really want to speak to someone about narcissism. I'm finding that fascinating at the minute. So narcissistic behaviour, and how a lot of those narcissists believe that being an alpha male or a very aggressive, there's a lot of women that like it now. They think being these strong, dominant, alpha aggressive women is what makes them good leaders, and I think that's a very archaic way of thinking. Like I said, I think a lot of us are more closer to chimps than probably the people think they are. I think that original thought is the line. Being able to have original thoughts, I think that is a big distinct line between, let's just say, the bottom 95% and the top 5%, maybe. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. I'm going to go to bed now. I'm tired. It's late. So yeah, let me know what you think. Leave me some comments, and I want to engage with people. Want to get some questions going. I want to talk about some stuff that, I don't know, I want some inspiration. I need some inspiration. I'm doing as much thinking as I can, but I'd love to hear some original ideas as well. And then just start putting it all together. Let's piece this thing together. Yeah, so cool. I'll speak to you again in a few days, and look after yourself.